Hi, I'm Dave Kahle. Welcome to this Christian Business Insights podcast show where my goal is to provide you with practical, actionable ideas to help you create businesses and careers of excellence and at the same time multiply your influence for the kingdom. I have been a Christian in business for over 30 years, and I have personally and contractually consulted with over 500 different sales organizations. So in these podcasts, I combine the lessons that I have learned with an out-of-the-box experience and perspective on Christianity that you will find challenging. And we put that together to provide you with practical insights and ideas that you can use to live better and lead better. Welcome to the journey. Hi, this is Dave. You know, in these Christian Business Insight podcasts, I have three different categories of content. And one, of course, is Christian business principles and practices. You know, what to do to turn your business into a kingdom entity of excellence and influence. That's the first category. Second category is personal leadership, qualities of character. And third category is best practices in the business world, regardless of whether or not it's a Christian orientation. And, as we all run businesses or have careers, and it's important that we do that as well as we can, and there is worldly wisdom out there that can help. And today's podcast is in that third category, having to do with an essential sales strategy. Okay? So today I want to talk about a very specific sales strategy, and I think it's both a strategy and a mindset, and it's served me well as well as literally hundreds of my clients. So in a previous career, when I sold for a hospital products distributor, we negotiated a 3-year contract with my largest account. The contract called for, among other things, fixed margins on a number of items and corresponding volume commitments on their part. And in my $5 million territory, the contract represented, listen to this, $7 million a year. And I was in a $5 million territory, so this one contract more than doubled my sales. Now, there were lots of other provisions, and the most remarkable of which was our commitment to locate one of our customer service reps and a computer with real-time online access to our inventories in their facility. So our customer service rep, worked for us, but they showed up for work in the customer's facility. And that way, the customer could get instant data on the status of orders and our inventory and so on. So there were lots of benefits on both sides, and the underlying issue was that we had become very important to that customer. So much so that it would be very difficult for them to extricate themselves from reliance on us if they should ever want to. They had become our partners, and we had become theirs. Now, some of the net results of our becoming important to them was a huge guaranteed 3-year revenue stream, guaranteed protection from competitors, and a working relationship with the key decision makers that our competitors could only imagine. Getting important had paid off. Now, getting important is a powerful key account sales strategy. Let me repeat that. Getting important is a powerful key account sales strategy that, when properly pursued and executed with discipline and perseverance, can bring similar results to creative B2B suppliers. Getting important means that you have a goal in mind of a close, collaborative vendor-customer relationship which manifests in loyalty and commitments to dramatic purchase levels in return for a menu of above and beyond purchasing options and services. In a world where the temptation is to treat every opportunity as a transaction, it's a powerful way to give purpose and focus. For those for whom it resonates, and you may or may not be one of those, here's 4 steps to implement getting important as a fundamental sales strategy. Number one, select your prospects well. Now, not everyone is a candidate for this approach. My experience indicates that probably no more than 5% of a salesperson or a company's accounts would qualify. They need to be large enough to justify the investment in time and energy. They need to be open-minded enough to consider alternate vendor relationships, and they need to be intelligently managed so that they can provide a stable multi-year commitment. Understanding that this is a 3 to 5 year process. Make sure that you make good business decisions about whom to invest your time and resources into. So number one, select your prospects well. Number two, understand that relationships are the oil that lubricate the gears of these arrangements. So set out to create relationships that are broader and deeper than typical customer relationships. Now, broader means that you, and I'm talking about the salesperson now, you, the salesperson, knows more of them. You know more of them. So you develop relationships with every decision maker and influencer, every department manager, etc. So broader means you know more of them. Broader also means that more of them know more of you. So your job is to facilitate relationships between your customer service people, for example, and their purchasing people. Bring them into your facility. Take your people out to meet them. So do whatever you can to create broader relationships. Remember, broader and deeper. Deeper means that the relationships extend up the ladder to include the customer's C-suite with yours. Your branch or sales manager should know them. Your CEO should know their CEO, etc. The closer the relationship among the C-suites grow, the easier it is to do these deals. I've also found it helpful to strategically entertain the key decision makers in order to expand the relationship beyond the business world. Your key executive should be a part of that as well. So deeper and broader relationships and entertaining, which means spending time with them outside of the business world, that's a necessary prerequisite. That's number two. Number three, find lots of things and lots of important things that they could buy from you and begin to sell as many product SKUs as possible. No product is too small. No piece of business is too minuscule to ignore. See, you're not just creating transactions. You're building a base of history and developing a position of a significant vendor before you begin talking about partnerships. At some point, when you have important, broad, and deep relationships, when you become a significant vendor, then begin to make bundled offers. Bundled offer. So what's a bundled offer? A bundled offer is when you make an offer on one or more products dependent on their purchase of others. Now, one of the best examples of this came out of the building materials industry. I have had multiple clients in that world. And here's a typical example. Your local lumber store typically sold a line or two of windows, and they sold another line or two of doors. Now, one major window manufacturer with a brand that was well known and well respected dramatically increased their business when they said to their customers, "If you want to sell our windows, you must also buy our doors." So they made the purchase of one line of product dependent on the purchase of another. Now, while this example may seem a bit heavy-handed, there are significant benefits to the customer. Fewer vendors, fewer purchasing decisions, clear and simpler lines of accountability. That's just a few of the benefits. So if you can convince the customer to accept a bundled offer, you set the precedent that products and services can be tied together in one purchasing decision. See, that's the implication there. And here's my fourth point. Finally, sow the seeds of an idea. Working very closely together can be a major benefit to the customer. That's the idea. And you want to sow those seeds. So begin to talk about that idea, put it into the regular conversation until such a time as the customer and you come together to explore the possibilities and negotiate the details. Now, while it is not for everyone, almost every B2B vendor can find a place for important partnerships with quality customers that provide committed income streams and incredible relationships. In a world with overwhelming distractions and the constant temptation to view sales as transactional, in that world, getting important can provide focus and purpose and a strategy for success. Okay, that's it. We're done. Bye-bye. Hi, this is Dave. In these Christian Business Insight podcasts, I have three different categories of content. And one, of course, is Christian business principles and practices. What to do to turn your business into a kingdom entity of excellence and influence. That's the first category. Second category is personal leadership, qualities of character. And third category is best practices in the business world, regardless of whether or not it's a Christian orientation. And, as we all run businesses or have careers, and it's important that we do that as well as we can, and there is worldly wisdom out there that can help. And today's podcast is in that third category, having to do with an essential sales strategy. Okay?